Hello YouTube, this is Jeff again. Just wanted to do a quick update. Been playing around with this stove all week long. We've had the gamut as far as weather goes. We've in 1 week's time we've been from the 70s to the teens with rain, snow, sleet, sun, everything in between. So it was a really good opportunity to try to figure out how to light this stove under several different conditions. So played with it all week, tried pretty much everybody's ideas to one extent or another, and just wanted to kind of go over a little bit what's worked, what hasn't worked, and some more of the modifications I've made, and so far pretty happy with it. Before we get in too depth of all the stuff that I have tried, what has actually worked best is just preheating the burn chamber back where the 90 is. I modified or made a new grate system here, and I can basically just lay like a fire starter log, or just even get some twigs and light them and put them on there. Slide it into that 4-inch tube. Use this kind of the example. Slide it all the way back, you know, where the 90 is, and this preheats the basically the chimney inside of this tank. And while I'm getting my wood and everything together, you know, to start my regular fire, you know, it'll preheat that a couple minutes. I can put my wood and everything down here in the hopper and light it. It'll take right off. I've tried it wind, rain, snow, you name it, and it's worked every time. Also, preheating the chimney works equally as well. Not a problem with that. Cotrophius was the first one to say, you know, put like a little door. Some people suggested putting a T down at the bottom where I could access the chimney, put something in there, ignite it, let it heat up, burn, and heat the chimney up, which will work, like I said, equally as well. I just held the torch on the pipe, heated the pipe up, lit it, took right off. Same, you know, I'm guessing it's pretty much the same principle as heating up the chimney inside of here. So this has worked. It's pretty simple, easy. Just to lay, you know, like I said, I got some of those, couple of those fire starter logs, and I can just take a hatchet, chip a couple pieces off, lay it on here, light it, and we're off to the races. So I modified the pellet basket. I kind of wanted to go through that. A lot of people's been asking me. I've kind of got everything laid out here. Let me grab this camera. I kind of got everything laid out here, kind of the metamorphosis that I've been through. This one here is the first. Get it around here, maybe you can see it. The first one I done, just a bunch of stainless steel pieces I cobbled together. Like I said, I don't do a whole lot of fit and finish on these things till I figure out what will work and what doesn't. So I don't usually invest more than a few minutes on any of these little projects like this. But anyways, this is the first one that I made. Here's a little tray that slides in the tube, and it works pretty good. It's got obviously it's kind of beveled. It's trapezoid shape, you know, from back to front, so works pretty good. What's going on though is when the pellets are down, you know, in here, you get more coals and not a whole lot of flame. So it was throwing flames like real funny. So I kind of scratched that idea, built this tray, and then went with a smaller pellet hopper and I did my trapezoid back to front with a taper. So it was sitting in basically the opposite way. Again, total bomb. I went with heavier stuff, tried to go smaller with the holes, and it would just get a big, basically just get a big basket of coals and not a whole lot of fire. So on to the third. Went with some real thin wire and did a conical shape front to back with a big hole in the center. I know it's kind of hard to see, but the center is all open, and basically the pellets would trickle around the sides. So this threw off a real nice flame. Again, something I just tacked together. Worked pretty good, but like as you can see, it's not real sturdy. So I kind of got the basics of how the pellets would burn in this thing. And so what I ended up was, I call it the revolver system. Let's see if we can. Basically, it's stainless steel. It's got a bunch of slits ground down the sides, and then the inside, and that's kind of hard to see. Walk out here maybe. I've got an inside tube with the same slits ground in it. Give you a top view here with the top covered. And what that does, when I slide it in to here, it corresponds, this top opening will correspond with this chute right here, the pellet drop basically. And the pellets will drop down either side, and I can light it and get a flame almost all the way around, and it shoots a really nice hot flame. The pellets burn nice, and as they progressively burn down towards the bottom, I get a good complete burn. So the time they drop out of the bottom slits on this, I get there's just real fine ash, so I'm getting a nice complete burn. I'm getting all of the heat available out of the, you can see it kind of back up in there, getting all the heat out of the pellets. So that's basically it so far. Like I said, I can put a small piece of that little fire starter or fire log or whatever, just a small piece on there, light it, shove it all the way back in there. As it's heating up, I'll get my little wood chip or my kindling there and throw down in there, light it with the torch. I can light it from the top or through the center of the pellet, pellet holder, the little pellet hopper there. I can just put the center of the torch right straight back in there and light it up. So far so good. Lights every time. I'm getting absolute zero smoke out of anything. I went ahead and put my I don't know if you can see my gasket material. I went ahead and glued it in, and it really isn't needed for the pellet. As you can see, there's absolutely no flame whatsoever comes up into the pellet hopper at all. So, but I had it, so I went ahead and used it. I fitted the doors a little bit better. As you can see, I can take them on and off by hand now. So kind of hand fitted those. As you can see, I've really got this thing scorching hot. The top is all discolored blue. I mean, I've really pushed this thing this week to its uppermost limits. So I cannot get this to glow cherry red though like I can the small stove. But as you can see, I'm getting a little small discoloration here where the tube goes back into the propane tank body, but the rest of this is all a blue. None on the pellet hopper whatsoever. This stays cool, but this thing will get, as you can see, I don't know if you can really see it, but I mean that tube gets hot all the way out to the front. Even on the door there's blue discoloration. That door gets really hot. But no smoldering of the pellets whatsoever. Super happy with that. It just, like I said, beyond my expectations as far as it burns. Really, like I said, the only problem I really had was it starting up and getting smoke out here. And I must be right at the breaking point, because I can have this thing when I put like this small piece of starter on the end of this grate and start to shove it in. About right there, it'll start a draft. As a matter of fact, sometimes I've got to pull it back out and relight it, because the wind forcing up through the tube, once it breaks past this pellet hopper on the side, just a huge draft comes through. So I must be kind of at the breaking point as far as the limit, as far as the length of my tube goes here. So I think if I shorten that by a few inches, I would probably get a pretty decent draft. I'm not for positive, but just guessing. So real quick, I tried the 45-degree angles instead of the 90s. I manipulated those around, didn't do any good. Obviously, I went from the 4-inch to the 6-inch pipe. That didn't do any good as far as getting draft and getting it started. I sealed all the joints tight with high temp tape. That didn't do any good. Walk out here. I extended the pipe up past the peak of the roof by at least 2 foot, maybe a little bit more. That didn't do any good in itself. I made my little wind directional, cobbled together, pitiful looking wind cap up there. It works, but again, it didn't cause any draft when starting it. I tried everything, each individually and obviously all in conjunction with each other, and couldn't get nothing to work. It wouldn't work either by themselves or in conjunction with another idea. So that's kind of where it stands. So far, like I said, the only thing has done any good is heating. I can heat this pipe up with a torch and it'll take off, or do my little fire starter thing on the grate system and preheat the little 4-inch tube that's inside here, basically the burn chamber riser. So that's the only thing that's worked so far on it. So the ashtray, the ash drop has worked great. Really like that idea. But also I noticed I've got to cut this wood up like really small pieces, you can see, or split it. This thing does not like bigger chunks of wood whatsoever. So when I was on my thrifting kick Saturday, I picked up this little gem here, little one of those little electric log splitters, and man, I tell you what, that is the greatest thing since peanut butter and bananas. That thing really works good. I'm tickled to death with that. It's worth its worth its weight in gold. Split as far as splitting wood goes. This is that real hard oak, and man, it'll just go through it like gangbusters. I can split it up real fine pieces, like 1 by 1 inch pieces that it seems to like really well. If you get much bigger than a 2 by 2 square, it just does not want to burn very well. So now if I'm throwing pellets to it, it'll burn anything. You can throw wet wood, soaking wet wood in that wood hopper and burn those pellets, and it'll take right off. It'll burn whatever. So I really appreciate all the help, the comments, the suggestions on this. Really appreciate it. Like I said, Cotropheus was the first one out of the chute, basically with heating up the exhaust pipe. I tried it first. It worked great. And like I said, I just wanted to give this thing a fair shake, and everybody else's suggestions a fair shake, and went through them step by step, one by one, and this is so far as what I've come up with that works good. Honestly, like I said, I'll probably go back to the 4-inch pipe all the way up, take this 6-inch out, and go ahead and do my 90, and then put a T right there with a small cap on it, where I can pull it on and off, and do maybe a little sliding grate system where I can put, you know, a piece of whatever, whether it be that starter log or something else, and start it and preheat this pipe, and maybe go that route in the long run. So I'm sure it would work fine, because like I said, I can put a torch on it and heat it, and it works great too. So, but there's where it stands. I'm really happy with it overall. I'm gonna burn it a few more days, and just kind of, you know, really get a good feel for it. Paint it, and put it in the house, I guess, and we'll see how it does. So, this is Jeff. Have a great day. I think I'm gonna go cut some wood.